my text message I sent to
Boom!
you?
I have it right here. I have it right here. In fact, we are live right now. Guys, we want to welcome everybody to today's live. Today's episode is incredibly powerful because not only do we have one of my favorite community members, my brother, my friend, but also, as some of you had said based on the flyer, my long lost cousin. my long lost cousin from birth, Bhaskar Pandey. It is so good to have you on today's episode, brother. I know you're gonna drop so many gems. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing very well, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I know that, look, I'm really excited about this, not even just because I know that you're somebody who, Bhaskar, from the first time that we ever had a strategy session together, one of the things that I don't think I ever told you this, but one of the things I appreciated about you is I remember we're on a strategy session together and you're like, let me just show you what I have going on. And you show me your CRM, you show me, your systems and processes, and you have an absolutely incredible mind. And I'm just grateful that I get to showcase how you think and your operation with the world today. And so I'm just really, really excited about today's shows, bro. Today's show.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, you give me far too much credit, man. I'm not that smart.
And that's what all the geniuses say, guys. So take note of that. Take note of that. All right. But with that said, we're going to be talking, guys, about how Bhaskar has made an incredible amount of money in a very short amount of time, utilizing a strategy that a lot of people are popularizing right now and talking about, and that's wholesaling land. And so right after this intro, we're going to get into how Bhaskar has set up his team, how they're doing their acquisitions, their disposition, and how you can take something out of the page of his book and take your business to the next level. Right after this intro, let's get it.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. I did. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.
Indeed. So before we hop into this show, I just want to edify my brother properly. And Bhaskar has a really cool story. At 18 years old, Bhaskar came to the United States with $1,500 in his pocket, guys. All right. He obtained a degree in engineering. He began his corporate career as a technical or consulting, as a consulting technical engineer. All right. Then he ventures into flipping land for himself, and he created a successful business. And since then, he's just done some absolutely incredible things. All right. In the last 2 months, he's generated $100,000 wholesaling land. Flipping paper, wholesaling land. All right. And he has a number of different areas of expertise that make it so that even though he's been in my community and we work together, I don't say this lightly, that I also look up to him in many ways in terms of the way his mind works. Some of the skill sets that he has are definitely some of my biggest weaknesses. And they're one of the reasons why I really look forward to my conversations that I have with Bhaskar. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's more of an iron sharpening iron whenever we link together. And he's just a cool guy to have a beer with. All right. Not only is he just really smart and just cool and successful in this business and somebody that you definitely want to get around, but he's just he's a guy's guy, just somebody that you want to hang out with. And I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy this episode. So shout out to everybody on IG, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook group, everybody who's watching. We really, really appreciate you guys across all the platforms. But before we even get into this any further, Bhaskar, where are you tuning out of, just so that people have an idea where you're located?
So I'm right here in Houston, Texas. San Antonio was home, but now the last about 4.5 years I've been in Houston.
I love it. So you're in Houston, Texas, and I think everybody is just kind of salivating and dying to know, okay, so how in the world, Bhaskar, Do you get to where? And so, by the way, I gotta share this with everybody. Bhaskar is very humble, because whenever I talk to Bhaskar, even no matter what he's accomplishing, in the back of his mind, he's like, I could be doing more. I need to be doing more. I need to be doing more. And that's a real achiever right there. And so I gotta say, I do respect that part. But let's also give credit where credit is due, brother. $100,000 in 60 days is unheard of in the average American home, bro. So whenever I give you kudos, just understand I mean it from the bottom of my heart that I'm so proud of what you've done up until now, because A, I know you're going to be doing way more in the future. That's what excites me even more. But B, I remember whenever we were talking about the ebbs and flows in your business. So now to be having you on this platform in front of almost 100 people live right now across all platforms this is exciting for me. You know what I mean?
Man, you're making me blush, brother. You're making me blush. I don't think anyone has given me an intro as great, compliments like you do. So you are far too kind. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think I'm not doing anything extraordinary, not yet anyway. I think what you helped me realize from when I started your mastermind was ultimately it boils down to systems, processes, and KPIs.
Yeah.
The systems and processes I had in place, the KPIs is what I was not paying too much attention to. And so we fixed that, right? And since we fixed that, we've seen a massive change. We had a phenomenal 2022, and we didn't need to worry about KPIs in 2022 because it was just a hot market.
Facts.
And we would throw a rock and we would hit a land deal.
Facts.
Right. And we didn't know what we didn't know, and we just kept going.
Yeah.
So number one is for me was you don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to do it. And we kept doing it. Right? So some action better than no action. Imperfect action better than no action. And that led to a significant amount of revenue in 2022. Well, the market tightened, and when the market tightened, we realized what was working in 2022 wasn't working anymore. And it simply needed to be very surgically monitored. You had to have your KPIs right. Your lead generation need to be on point. Your marketing had to be done not like everybody was doing. You had to employ different channels of marketing. Man, at the end of the day, having your lead generation in place, having your marketing consistently happening, having the systems to underwrite land deals just ended up doing what it was supposed to do. So the machine was supposed to work. We just weren't feeding it enough fuel. And when we fed it enough fuel, which was marketing that led to leads, it started, outputting what it was supposed to be doing from the jump. And this 100,000 in 60 days. Yes, I definitely am aware it's a big feat, but having done more than this, a year prior, a couple of years prior, these were every month. Some months were bigger. So it's almost humbling right now when I say, hey, that's why I didn't want to tell you when you asked me. I didn't want to tell you because I felt like this was embarrassing. I see your community members making 100,000 regularly a month.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, here we are. We've got we had quite a few deals in the pipeline last couple of months. Our close rate, if you look at it, given how uncertain the market's been, hasn't been the best. Each month we've probably closed anywhere from 4 to 6 deals out of 10 to 12 deals we've had under contract.
Okay, so about a 50% contract to close ratio.
40 to 50% contract to close ratio.
Okay.
And again, those.
By the way, I want to throw this out there because I know that you're about to drop some gems. Right now, what I'm seeing in a healthy wholesale business at scale is about a 65% contract to close ratio. So to be doing such a high volume, it's actually not a bad number. But I can see what you're saying in terms of, there's a little bit of area to improve in terms of the contract to close ratio.
And we came from, you understand that our threshold was set in our market when market was super hot. So we never had a less than 80% contract to close ratio. So in our minds, a 50%, 40% contract to close ratio is half of what we were able to do before.
Yeah.
And it was messing with our minds. But the fact is, we saw a lot of wholesalers fold. We saw a lot of land investors go get jobs. They went and started working for big builders and big developers. And then we continued to persevere and sustained and generated revenue in a very niche field. Lots of people were telling us to switch our area of the property type. They were saying, start doing single family. Single family never goes out of style. Everybody's doing single family and they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Well, we doubled down on land. We went deep. We became subject matter experts. We were bringing value add properties to developers. We were bringing properties that had surveys, properties that we had done enough diligence on to builders. So builders knew that they were guaranteed a parcel that is build ready, that isn't going to have any problems after the fact. So we continued, even though it wasn't the best contract to close ratio, we were continuing to regularly sell and close deals. We had one fund, nothing to write home about just under a $6,000 total profit margin. But this was a problematic deal. We're just happy it's done.
Yeah.
No title problems, just that the buyer was on their own timeline, and we only had one buyer, so we had no choice but to work on the buyer's timeline. So we closed this deal 2 months after we were supposed to actually close this deal. But it's done. So I just want to share with the audience a little bit about how my company's structured, so people can get a little bit of value out of this. Well, I started in 2021 towards October learning land. And in 2021, I did not do a single deal. I did contract my first deal as an intentional land flipper, which closed on January 3rd of 2022. The builder that bought that property from me did not want to fund that deal, even though they wanted it. They really liked it. Their budgets for the year had run out. So they wanted to close on it January 3rd. Well, they did. And our first deal as a company made us $16,500. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. Let's just do more of it. So that's what we did. We just went out crazy, texting, cold calling, and Q1 of 2022, we made about $250,000 in profits.
In 90 days?
In 90 days, in Q1 2022.
So I just want to ask the audience, because what would you do, guys, if you generate $250,000 in 90 days in your business? Like, what does that do for your life? Like, put that into perspective, that in order to be a top 10% income earner, you need to generate $160,000 in 12 months. They did $250,000 in 90 days flipping land. So whenever Bhaskar says, Aaron, you're bringing me on the show for $100,000 in 60 days, like, you know what I mean? These are small numbers compared to what we're capable of. So just gives you context, guys.
And that was us not even really knowing what we were doing. This is before having any visibility, any analytics, us knowing anything about what markets are hot, what areas are not. We were going in there blind, and we were spraying the place with prospecting SMS. And we were seeing people come back and say, yes, I want to sell my land. And being an engineer, I was, at least what I did get right, Aaron, was evaluating land for value and being cautious of anything that potentially could be a deal breaker with that land parcel. With just those two things of being able to evaluate, run the right comps, and then make an offer where it's not super low, so I'm beating other wholesalers, but it's still low enough for me to leave margins on the table, and then being able to identify which pieces of land were worth it and which pieces of land were not. Based on just those two things, we did nothing but deal after deal after deal after deal. So on average, 6-figure months in 2022 were pretty simple, pretty easy, common. Well, 2023 came around and the market really just started tanking. Got tighter, interest rates went up, inflation went up, builders stopped building. We had builders actually wanting to sell their land parcels to us to see if we knew anybody else buying. And it kind of went downhill for a while. Well, we restarted our efforts in 2023. We doubled down on cold calling. text messages weren't working because the 10 DLC, A2P 10 DLC regulations hit text messaging really, really hard. But cold calling worked, mailers worked. And then we started creating this branding that you see down here that says Builders Land Source. My previous company name had almost nothing to do with land. So people couldn't tell me as a company was a land investor or a land flipper. But then when we rebranded ourselves to Builders Land Source, we found a domain, builderslandsource.com. We got everybody in my team business cards that are basically all fully badged and branded up. And we created this marketing persona of our company as being something to do with builders and something to do with land. So when we talk to sellers and they go to our website, it's very openly stated there that we source land for builders. When builders go to our website and they see that we source land for builders, and they send us their buying criteria automatically. So we built this entire framework of now prospecting and connecting with builders that has proven to be extremely effective for us. We have a massive blueprint, a step-by-step process of how we go find builders, vet builders, figure out who we want to work with as an avatar that would actually work out for us, which builders we need to avoid. What is the hook? What gets the builders talking to you versus every other land wholesaler wanting to talk to the builder? An average builder is probably getting 100 phone calls a day from different wholesalers asking them what their buy box is. So we needed to differentiate ourselves from every other wholesaler to be able to get our foot in the door. And we did. We spent we built out some systems. We spent some energy and time and effort into search engine optimization so that our website, when people search for certain things, especially when builders search for certain things, our website happens to be one of the first top results. And we built intake forms that plug into our CRM. So when builders submit their buy box, we get a notification, they get an automatic email, and it just connects with everything. So we are at a point now, even if we stopped all cold builder prospecting, we still have builder leads trickling in. Every other day, every couple of days, we have.
So when you say builder leads, you mean these buyers. Are potential buyers, right?
These are buyers.
So I wanna extrapolate something from what Bhaskar is saying right here, guys, and that is he's giving you the sauce right now, right? You see how intentional Bhaskar and his team are in going to the people that are spending the money, figuring out what the buyers want, making the buyers his friends, getting in front of the buyers, but building the buyers database, and then you're going and sourcing the deals to put in front of the buyers. Is that right, Bhaskar?
Absolutely. And if you think about it, Aaron, in 2022, we made a lot of money, but we spent a lot of money marketing because we were marketing blind, right?
Yeah.
We were marketing in every possible zip code, neighborhood, county that we thought builders wanted to build in. Well, we changed our model significantly from there. Now, we not only are we have a specialized way, step-by-step, of figuring out where there is demand first, which zip codes are selling faster than the other, where there are low days on market, combined with the people that are buying specifically in those areas, and me being able to pierce through their front door. It's an unbeatable combination. If you think about, I don't have to spend money to prospect in 10 different zip codes. If my strategy tells me there are these 3 zip codes that are hot, in demand, can do a quick conversion on your cash. And when we structure our deals with the sellers, we don't even have to pay for our land. We contract it. We don't wholesale it. We double close it. The builder brings the money. We're protected as a party in the transaction. We have control over the transaction. We also get included in the title policy. So God forbid, should anything go wrong, we have a title policy protecting us, our interests, and being able to represent us in a legal way if needed.
Yeah.
So creating or following the demand, being able to connect with those people, being able to convince them that we are legitimate and their preferred partners is a big thing.
Yeah.
Imagine if everybody in the superhuman community starts calling builders tomorrow.
Mm.
There's only going to be a certain percentage of those people that actually get through to the builders. And out of the people that actually make contact, there's going to be even smaller percentage that the builder ends up trusting.
Mm.
The builder is going to say, okay, well, these 5 people that I spoke with today, there's these 2 people that actually look like they mean business, that they can be effective and provide us with some value. So all I had to do was figure out what that is, what that metric is, what are they looking for? And once we figure that out, it's game over from there. We have a massive roster. I mean, just like people are prospecting for land sellers or home sellers, we have a wing in our company that's prospecting actively for builders. And we have data beyond people's imagination.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. So I think that's what makes you so formidable. And then you shared something with me. I don't know if I can share the actual number, but what I will share is that was so impressive is the amount of JV deals that come into you guys.
Oh yeah.
So was this intentional, Bhaskar? Whenever you tell
100%.
me, okay, you've been so intentional. I know about the disposition in terms of building your builder and developer database, right? Of these people who basically buy land for the purpose of developing
construction, development. Yes.
But then you showed me today on our call, you showed me how you have hundreds of JV deals that are coming in, leads and JV deals. Yes. Was that intentional? Did you create that on purpose?
We did. So
yeah, talk to us about that, because I feel like so many people can benefit from JVing and they're trying to do this business alone.
Right.
When it's like you have people like Bhaskar you can be connecting with, you have people who you can be JVing with to take your business to the next level. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely. So, we've been in such a turbulent market that has been throwing nothing but punches. There's been seasoned investors that are seeing the effect of a very unpredictable, turbulent market. We were in the highest in a market where the interest rates have been the highest. Inventory has been sitting on market for days on market for the highest numbers. We've seen inflation hit record high. Yeah. People's affordability for buying a home has gone down, and it's impacted not just the single family home industry, but land as well. Because at the end of the day, the only people that are buying land are the ones that are going to develop and build on it. And if you cannot sell a house, that means they don't want to build another house if they haven't even sold other homes that they've built. So this uncertainty combined with the election year caused our marketing efforts to kind of not produce the results we were expecting.
Yeah.
Yes, we were prospecting in the areas that our software told us were super hot. We were prospecting in zip codes that we knew there was less inventory than what had sold in a year. But sellers, just like buyers, builders, investors had fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the market, so did the sellers. That means now the sellers either didn't want to sell or they didn't want to sell for a price that made sense. So a lot of our marketing dollars were being spent, but we weren't getting real results out of it. Combined with a couple of our VAs, they just weren't performing. So when we essentially trimmed that entire lead generation wing, we had to figure the number one KPI in any wholesaling business is leads. If you don't have leads, you don't have a business. You don't have continuity. You told me that, right? You said, what are your KPIs looking like? And look, this is where the problem is. You don't have enough leads. Yeah. If we don't have enough leads, the entire team sits there twiddling their thumbs, not having enough to do.
Yeah.
So we flipped the script on the lead part. We said, well, all of our money spent in lead generation, having tried PPL, having tried outsourcing leads, having tried in-house cold calling, texting, mailers, our lead flow was abysmal. We didn't really like the quality. We didn't like the volume. So we did something different. I have a couple of Facebook groups that I own. And I decided it was time for the community to actually come to each other's aid. If I was struggling, I guarantee you there's other people that are struggling to sell their deals as well.
That's right.
Now, we don't have to keep the whole pie to ourselves, but if they're not able to sell their deals and I'm not able to bring any deals in. Neither they make money nor we make money.
That's right.
So we what we did was we spent marketing on creating a JV channel for our leads. We held a couple of events here local in Houston that invited anyone and everybody. I had sponsors to help pay for the event. We offered free drinks, we offered food, we offered a nice venue, and I brought a lot of knowledge. And I wanted to make sure that the number one concern when doing a JV deal for both partners is not getting screwed over.
That's right. Yeah.
Everybody's afraid that the JV partner is going to screw them over, right?
Yeah.
So we created events around teaching people how to do effective JVs, safe JVs.
Wow.
Our JV agreements were professionally written to safeguard both parties' interests, and it goes over every single scenario. If anybody wants, I'm happy to give you all my JV agreement as well. It's not your average run-of-the-mill JV agreement. It's been very deeply inspected and written and has stood the test of time, because things happen in a JV agreement where one party falls out, the other party doesn't, and there's clashes. So our agreement has been written to address all of those situations. And we educated people here in the local community to say, hey guys, this is how we operate. Other people might give you a referral fee for bringing them a motivated lead that goes to closing. We offer 25 to 30% of the profits. So if you have a motivated seller but know nothing about land, all you got to do is bring that lead to us. We handle the underwriting, we handle the evaluation, we handle the negotiating, the contracting, we sell the property, and you get a check for 25 to 30% of the profits for having done absolutely nothing but brought us a lead you generated.
Wow.
If you have a deal under contract and the numbers make sense, and it tells me that you've put in work to understand the product that you have, negotiated the right price, and we don't have to do any renegotiating and fixing what you messed up, and we just sell the property, we do a 50-50 JV.
Yeah.
And people know me, Aaron. I have done handshake deals with people, and people have gotten paid without having to come ask me for the money. And I keep my JV agreements in a way where they get sent to title company, and my transaction coordinator reaches out to ensure that my JV partners and title company exchange wiring information. So the title company does not send me all the money, and my JV partners get paid at closing without having to ask for their money.
I love that.
I've never done a penny's worth of fraud or done anything wrong, and I never will. You know, we have our core values written on the wall right there. You can see trust is number one. So we operate from a sense of creating trust, fostering trust, and hoping we'll be treated with trust as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. There's so much to extract from that. We only have a few minutes, but one of the things that really impresses me about you, and this is one of the reasons why I know that you're going to do big things, Bhaskar, and you already are, but even bigger things, is I love that you know this about capitalism, either consciously or subconsciously, that the more value you bring, the more blessings come, right? The more opportunities come, and you understand that, inherently we have to foster trust, and that is a sense of value. And a lot of times we have to bring value for people to trust us. So I want to talk about this. You created these mixers and these events built around how to JV properly and keep people from being screwed over. But by doing that, you built a brand for yourself. And that's one of the reasons why you have hundreds of people sending you leads and JV deals like this. So I just want to encourage everybody who's watching this that listen, attention is the new currency, guys. Bhaskar understands this. Why not go out there, guys, throw a mixer and get all the investors, get other wholesalers, get lenders, get builders, construction workers, vendors, contractors, invite everybody into one room, and guess what happens?
Deals happen.
Magic happens. I'm telling you. Yeah. Maybe you're like, oh, I could never do anything that big because nobody would come. Start with 5 people. Invite a realtor, 2 wholesalers, an investor, and a contractor for coffee. Mm-hmm. You can get 5 people to show up for coffee or for lunch, and start that way. Start putting
100%.
people in the room. And people will your brand will start to build. It's an incredible thing.
100%. I want to add two things there. Like the number one truth that I've found that has impacted my growth is that leading with value is super important. Number one, if you provide value, value comes right back. And if you start to feel like, hey, what am I getting back for what I'm providing in the beginning when you're essentially growing and you haven't created that stronghold and that authority in the market for yourself yet, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
If you achieve a point where you understand the value of your own time and the exchange of value isn't there, you'll automatically not want to do whatever exchange that is. And you're going to start expecting people treat your time and whatever you're providing with such value that they want to give value back. Otherwise, they will know Aaron Bevins will stop talking to me unless I have something of equal value to offer in exchange. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be monetary, period. It can be knowledge. It can be a network. It can be referrals. It can be wisdom. It can just be companionship, friendship, whatever it is. But if you're offering something and the other person is offering something right back to you, which you perceive as an equal exchange of value, that thing will single-handedly grow you beyond your expectations, number one. And number two, man, I've always been a shy person. I never had the guts to stand in front of an audience. Last time you saw me, a couple of years ago, I was on stage in front of 100 people at Logan's event, and I literally thought, man, I had embarrassed myself is what I thought, right? I thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Later on, I watched the video. It ended up somehow being okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But I remember these words. I'm not going to go. I'm only going to name the person that gave me this wisdom. His name's Dan Diaz. He's a friend, a business partner of mine. And he gave me some wisdom when I was feeling very down because some group that I was associated with, that I worked tirelessly for, giving value to the community, essentially just had like forgotten about me when it came to them to reciprocate value. They were having events and like I felt like I had contributed to the community in a big fashion, but I got forgotten. No invitation, no nothing. So I just felt down and I mentioned this to Dan. I was like, Dan, I just feel like all this time, energy, money spent in supporting somebody else's community just went down the drain because they just essentially discarded me. Dan said, hey, if they won't put you on stage, you know what you do? You create your own stage.
That's right. That's right.
So I created my own stage, right? I own a group called School of Sharks today. We host big events. I have a group called Texas Land Exchange. We host a lot of land events here in Houston. I have people coming in from Austin, from Dallas to attend my events. I have these big time people that are like, I wouldn't even have dreamt of being in their circle, let alone them coming to my events to speak there for free. Yeah. I wouldn't have ever I used to watch and consume y'all's videos. You, Aaron, I would watch your videos and pay $50 to sign up for your webinar. And I was like, this is the greatest webinar I've been a part of. You know, the celebrities. Aaron, you and I are friends now. We just had a beer the other day after much convincing, guys. It took a lot of convincing. He wasn't up for it. I had to twist his arm. He finally showed up and he had a great time. Well, the fact is I'm friends with a lot of people that I idolized early on. I learned from, I watched, because of the value I provided to everybody.
Yeah.
They're friends with me now. And guess what? We're all growing together. So having those events, joint venturing with the right people, you know, operating with integrity, adding value to everybody else, showing up. You told me something. Show up when you're supposed to. Show up prepared. Eat the frog. You've already defeated like 90% of the people.
That's right.
So that's essentially, you know, my takeaway is all I do is I just don't quit.
Yeah.
I know I'm not smarter than anyone else. I know I'm definitely not lucky. I can tell you that much. But I will outwork anyone. I will outwork anyone. I showed you this before. There's a tattoo on my hand that just says work harder, right? And that's because this is my motto. This reminds me every day. Yes, you can work smarter, but there is absolutely no replacement for hard work. So to your point, I think leading with value, showing up, being there for the people that depend on you, that trust you, is the secret sauce.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You dropped a lot of gems. Before we wrap up, I want to do something special. In the sense of I want to go into the mind of Bhaskar Pandey a little bit. And so I've been asking this to the last few guests on the show, and I've been really excited with the response. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. So Bhaskar, what is, name a self-development book that has impressed you with suggestions that you still use to this day, that just stands out to you? Because you have a lot of entrepreneurs on here who are going through different trials and tribulations in life, and maybe they're going through a good season, but nevertheless they're here and they're watching this either live or on the replay because they're looking for something, whether it's a tidbit, an inspiration, motivation, or something that can keep them going along the journey. So what is a self-development book, and maybe something you got from it that really stood out to you?
Man, I have severe ADHD, okay? Like almost uncontrollable. And I almost cannot finish a book unless it's fiction.
Yeah.
And I do read quite a bit. I used to read quite a bit, and I will get through a book to a certain point, and it feels like, okay, I've got the gist of it. Well, there's a book called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And what I got out of that book, number one, was, Bhaskar, no, you cannot do everything by yourself. Number one. Number two, learn to delegate. Trust other people to do things you otherwise just would want to do yourself. And then also prioritize what is deserving of your own time versus somebody else doing it for a lot less money per hour. So that was one thing that led me to hiring an assistant. Everybody in my company gets paid very well, I would like to believe. And I also am extremely selective on when it comes to bringing anybody on into my tribe, into my club, into my ship. They have to be rock stars and rock stars only. Their integrity, energy has to match mine. So after reading that book, it was hard because, personal assistants aren't cheap, right? Like it costs a lot of money. And at first you cannot justify, what do you need a personal assistant for? I can schedule my own meetings. I can read my own email. Well, you read that book and I understood that there is so much more I can do with my time that I will get a greater return on if I simply delegate all the stuff that I feel isn't worth my own time.
Yeah.
So I have a great assistant. She also manages our transactions. I've trained her on transaction coordination. She takes all of the day-to-day stuff off my hands. I don't open any mail anymore. I don't pay any bills anymore. I don't schedule any meetings anymore. I don't even read email. We have a system which she uses to organize my mail in different folders, Aaron. Important, not important, don't even bother reading, bills. So when I go in the morning, when I come in, my email's already organized into folders, transaction related, property related, so that I know which ones are going to be bringing revenue and the best value for my time. And the others, I don't even really bother reading. Then one day on a Saturday, I'll sit and read all the ones that were in the not important, trash, et cetera, et cetera. My bills don't go unpaid anymore. She has access to certain financial cards that, she can use. It just has opened up so much time. People say I don't have time. Well, if you plan what you choose to do with your time, you'll have a lot of time. You might be spending time on things that do not matter or do not matter that much. Delegate those to somebody else. And then when you have your time blocked for just the most important things, magic happens. I've written so many automations recently, Aaron, I haven't even shown you half of it. I've written some crazy, amazing automations. Our whole mailing system now has been automated. Meaning, if I need to send somebody an actual mailer, I have to click one button and a mailer is already created, saved. My assistant gets a notification saying you need to print this. and you need to put this in the mail. And once she clicks another button after she's done, it gets removed and deleted and moved over to the one that says sent, and the dates get added. It's amazing. I love these kind of things. But the fact is, we were missing these types of efficiencies that I was putting off for so long because I had no time. Now I have time to spend on the most important things. You know what? We automated all of our JV agreements. So if you send me a JV deal, you become partner one, who is the bringer of the lead, of the deal or the lead. I become partner two because I'm going to help bring a buyer to it. I have your information coming in from my form into my CRM. It automatically populates all the fields. We just go in and click one button, and it shoots off a JV agreement automatically through DocuSign. Like we've saved so much time. I told you we had 298 JV leads or deals that came in.
Crazy.
70% were trash, right?
Sure. Part of the game.
They were just leads in areas that I don't operate. I couldn't sell. Numbers weren't right. Flood zone properties, et cetera, et cetera. But the 30% that were great, we have to write contract JV agreements before I start. We were spending so much time creating JV agreements by hand in DocuSign, copying and pasting partners' information, emails, property legal description, property address. It happens in 3 minutes or less now. So there's things that I've been able to do after I read that book called Buy Back Your Time. I never thought I would ever have time for. Now I do, only because we've reprioritized what I do versus what somebody else does for me.
Yeah, so powerful, so powerful. Gems on gems on gems. I love it. Bhaskar, you came to serve the community, and you have absolutely done that. Bhaskar, what is... I was supposed to have a link for you, but I don't have a picture. But I want to put your handle here so that people can go follow you. How can people follow you if they want to connect with you and get some of the free value that you offer on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the B Pandey, that's my handle on Instagram. That's my handle on Facebook. So the B Pandey is my handle. And if anybody wants to come and learn about builder outreach, builder prospecting, how we do things differently that has allowed us to connect with so many builders and move properties fairly quickly, there's a very small, intimate, one-of-a-kind event that I'm hosting on December 14th in Houston. A half-day event from 1 to 5, December 14th, Saturday. And if you decide to come on as a VIP, then you actually get to go to dinner and drinks with 3 of my builders that I'm basically giving away. Like, you guys will have the opportunity to speak with builders, learn from them, ask your questions, learn what are they looking for when you send them a property. What can catch their attention? What makes a property a good deal for them? And then you get their information and you add them to your buyers list, and you could sell probably 10 deals to those 3 builders and make about $100,000 in the next however soon you can send them 10 deals. And these are people that I've actually sold land deals to. And I have a great relationship with, and they've agreed to come and meeting with the community. Let me tell you, no builder has time to meet with wholesalers. Like, no builder has time. They're doing such big projects and big things that I don't know how they agreed, man, but they agreed to come to my event. And if y'all want, reserve your seat. It's at builderslandsource.com/workshop. Oh, and I forgot to say, Aaron, for anybody in the superhuman community that signs up, just sign up for the regular workshop. I'll get you into the VIP for free. So you'll be able to
let's go.
Sit with those builders for no extra money.
Builderslandsource.com/workshop. Definitely be in this room if you're in the greater Houston land area or anywhere in Texas or just anywhere. And you need to be in that workshop, because I'm telling you, to be around the proximity of these kinds of people, y'all, it makes a difference in your trajectory. I can go back to specific events that prior to that event, I was a different person to the individual that left the room. Proximity is everything, in a bad way and in a good way. But if you get around people that are doing big things, not only people that are doing big things, not only does it change your mindset, but when they're doing big things, they in of themselves can present you with opportunities by being the person who can buy the deal or connect you with the person that can buy the deal. And as you know, one deal can change your life. One idea can change your life. One connection can change your life. So
I already know that there's so many people who ask me about land. There's people who come into my community and ask me about land. And I'm like, listen, I send them to Bhaskar because, you know, when somebody's doing 6 figures in a few weeks, that's noteworthy, guys. And then whenever you talk to them and they're like, oh, that's chump change. I can do way more. Watch this. You know what I mean? You got to take note of that person. You know what I'm saying? And so Bhaskar is definitely that guy. Obviously, we wanted to come here and give you guys free value, but those of you, some of you who want to take your business to the next level, you're the overachievers, the high achievers. Those are the individuals that we want to see in this room, and we're really excited about it. And I know that there's going to be at least 4 or 5 people from who watch this on the live and on the replay who are going to go to builderslandsource.com/workshop. Make sure to take Bhaskar up on what he's saying. If you come from this live or from my community, let them know, and you get automatically upgraded into VIP to get into the proximity to go eat dinner with these big players and improve your network and take your net worth to the next level. All right, let Bhaskar know Aaron Bevan sent you. You are a friend of Aaron Bevan. Even if you don't know me, tell Bhaskar that I sent you if you saw it on this live. All right, say that you're a part of the.
I will honor that, Aaron, for you anytime. I only have 15 seats, by the way, so it's not a big community event. It's an intimate gathering. So book your seats now, guys. I only have a few remaining. And Aaron, one last thing I wanted to tell you. You hit on that has been 100% true for me. Do you know why I joined your mastermind at the highest level possible?
No.
I told you. I think you might have forgotten. I didn't need help with wholesaling, right? I didn't need help with systems. I kind of knew what I was doing. I essentially only wanted to join I could have joined the entry level tier as well, but I didn't. One, thank God's been great. I could afford to join at the highest tier, number one. Number two, it was purely to be in the proximity of greatness, like people, expanding my network, being able to connect with you every couple of weeks, one-on-one, in person, is invaluable. It's worth way more than what that tier costs. You better raise the price, man.
I appreciate that, Bhaskar. I appreciate that, Bhaskar. I appreciate that. And you know what? It's been an honor to work with you and around you because, and I've said this many times, that every time we hop off the call, I'm always feeling like I need to think bigger and that we need to continue growing, man. So
samesies, bro. I cannot even tell you. I'm just like, I requote people that impact me, right? I just quoted Dan. I quoted Aaron Bevans a couple of times at least. I requote people because these are the things that actually stick with you, stick with me, and I convert them into action. Like, words mean things. Dan says words mean things. So when you say something that impacts you, that is, if you could only turn that into action. People think it's cliche, but it's actually not. That's where the magic is. It's a spell.
Yeah.
It's a spell. And you're casting that spell because you're turning that word into action, and beautiful things happen. My life's changed. I left that massive career I had built as a technical service engineer, consultant. You ask people, what would you do if you made $250,000 in a quarter? You leave your job. Then you buy a Corvette.
And then you get shredded. Guys.
Then you get shredded, bro. That's it, right? Anyway.
I love it. Bhaskar, we love you, man. We support you, whether it's from afar or in person. Thank you for coming and blessing the community. And guys, thank you so much for showing up so heavy for Bhaskar. We have over 100 people live right now across all platforms. So thank you everybody who's here. And so you already know the name of the game, guys. If you're not home yet, please drive home safe because people be driving crazy out there. And we want to make sure you make it to your loved ones. When you do get home, love on your loved ones because tomorrow's not promised. Brush your teeth. And for goodness sakes, don't slap nobody. Until next time. See you guys in the next episode.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.